Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad ali Muhammad kama shallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Ya Allah ya Tuhanku, ya Allah Tuhanku, saya bermohon pada Ya Allah Tuhanku, semoga saya boleh menyampaikan this keynote paper dengan tenang kerana as His Majesty said just now, I have spent sleepless nights and everybody in the committee knows that I've not been able to sleep because I've been so nervous because I know the King is there watching at me and waiting to write down all the mistakes that I will do. So please look the other way and don't look at me. With the grace and blessings of Allah the Almighty, it is with great honor and humility that I stand here today to deliver the keynote address at the 8th ASEAN Traditional Textile Symposium with the theme, Celebrating Textiles, a Journey. It is most moving for me to see so many Malaysians, members from the ASEAN region and other parts of the world, each representing your own wealth of traditions. We are all here today on one common ground, that is to preserve, to promote, and to celebrate our cultural heritage. We can bridge our differences through arts and craft, and if politics divide us, let culture unite us all. I stand before you today not as a queen of Malaysia, but rather as a queen of textiles or a custodian of every form of arts and crafts. I repeat that not just textiles, but every form of arts and craft, which forms our heritage. Through our heritage, we celebrate friendship. We can see so many friends from overseas here today. Our journey together is to ensure that our ancient arts are not only revived, but also preserved. We live in the hope that we are able to continue the path set by our ancestors. It is important and critical for us to do this so that our traditional arts and crafts do not become relics of the past or mere footnotes in history books. We need to continuously find ways to preserve our arts and crafts. The challenge is how to encourage the keepers of our culture to share their skills and knowledge so as to ensure that our culture and tradition do not stop or die with them. In celebrating textiles as a journey, we also celebrate past journeys that bring us to where we are today. And we also have hope. We also have hope, a shared vision for the benefit of the future generations. For without hope, there is no journey. I must today thank the government of Malaysia through the various ministries that have been most supportive in their efforts to promote and to preserve our age-old traditions of making arts and craft alive till today. Without the government support, we would not have come this far. So much has been done by the government of Malaysia through their ministries, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for what you have done, that we are able today to celebrate the journey from the past to the present, and this journey must continue to the future for the benefits of our future generation, for us here to live it as a legacy. The National Craft Institute in Rawang is the finest example of what the government has done. Better known as Institute Craft Negara, I am proud here to say today that Malaysia is one of the very few countries in the world that has the National Craft Institute. It is also one of the government's efforts. The government saw it when the ministry, the Craft Tangan Malaysia presented, they understood and they saw the need for us to have a National Craft Institute where we document every single craft as a syllabus for our students. Our students go there for 3 years to learn every sort of craft there is, which includes weaving, wood carving, fine metalwork, batik, ceramics, rattan, amongst others. This is the government's effort to promote and to preserve this beautiful heritage that we have. And I applaud from the bottom of my heart to what the government of Malaysia has done. Thank you very much. As I said just now, through Institute Kraft Negara or the National Craft Institute, presenters and those from overseas, from some of the participants, there'll be a tour. We are taking you there because we want to show you how proud I am of our National Craft Institute. What we do here in our own little ways to preserve whatever we have for the future generations, our journey and our hope. This is done through formal education, where courses are offered to students at a very subsidized rate by the government through the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. The Malaysian Handicraft Development Corporation, or better known as Craft Tangan, assists in entrepreneurial, marketing, research programs for the local artisans and craftsmen, and these programs ensure the sustainability of the craft industry for the future generation. If the Malaysian government, not only just now I mentioned, set up this beautiful institute, Craft Negara, the National Craft Institute in Rawang. Through years that I've been involved with Craft Tangan Malaysia, I have seen the amount of funds, I have seen the amount of support, the help that the Craft Tangan has gone to every different craft in Malaysia, in every state, regardless of race or creed, whether you're rich or poor as well. I have seen the amount of money that has gone to all these, our producers to encourage the cottage industries in Malaysia. If somebody tells me today that nothing has been done by the government to promote, we would not be here today. It is thanks to the government's support or their belief in all of us that we today have been able to survive. Thank you once again to the government of Malaysia. We have also in Pekan, just now my husband, the king, said, you know, he has to just say yes, 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 yes. But at the end of my keynote, I will explain the role that His Majesty has played in my journey from Johor to Pahang. But one of the initiatives that we in Pahang have taken, with the help, which is also government-funded, is the Institute Kemahiran Tenun Pahang Diraja Tengku Ampuan Besar Mariam. You saw her just now in the screen. She traveled from Johor to Pahang in the 30s and the 20s. In the early 20th century, she married Sultan Mahmud of Pahang. And when she got to Pahang, she did in her little ways, she revived Tenun Pahang Diraja, better known as Tenun Pahang then. And through her, she would supply to her brother, the Sultan Ibrahim of Johor then, all the pieces of kain tenun for him to bring it abroad as gifts to Europe or to Singapore. That was her job. She supplied to the brother. So whatever Johor gave as gifts those days, bodily tuanku, came from Pahang. Yeah. And because of that, I decided when His Majesty officially officiated the institute, I decided that I wanted to name it Institute Kemahiran Tenun Pahang Diraja Tengku Ampuan Besar Mariam, to give credit, not because she was my great-grand aunt, but because she did a lot for Tenun Pahang Diraja. When I started when I took over Tenung Pahang Diraja in 2005, I gathered all the weavers that were in the state. There was only 15 weavers left, 12 to 15 weavers left in the whole of Pekan. I saw that it was dying, and if nothing was done, it would have just died. And that was when I approached Kraft Tangan Malaysia. I approached the government of Malaysia. Please help me here. I would like to set up an institute to teach, to make sure that Tenun Pahang would not just die within the next few years. And we even rebranded it. We decided to call it Tenun Pahang Diraja, being under His Majesty's royal patronage. We spent about a year, I remembered at that time, we spent about a year visiting every Tenun center there was, gathering all the Adi Guru, all the weavers, the skilled weavers. We would spend like a week, 4 times a year, sitting down with them, documenting, writing down every single technique, every single design, whatever there was. And we have now documented everything. It is part of the syllabus in the Institute Tenun Pahang Diraja. Though the need for this was because if nothing was done to revive Tenun Pahang Diraja, it would have just died 1,000 deaths, as I said just now. But that was not enough. Though we were able to produce weavers from the Institute, it was not enough to revive. And then I found out that the prisons of Malaysia started taking 2 weavers to teach the inmates in Penuh. What started from 2 weavers is now what we call 200 weavers in the prison. If not, there was so much that we could do in Institute Tenun Pahang Diraja, but if not for the prison, we would have just died. It was the prison that gave me hope to revive. And through the prisons, we are able now to produce beautiful, pieces of the most highest quality, the most beautiful design, are all from the prisons. And thank you to the prisons for the hope that you gave me, for helping me in the revival of Tenun Pahang. If without the prison, we could not have done it. And because of that, I am very pleased with the Prisons Department for playing a commendable role in preserving and reviving the country's traditional craft, such as weaving, batik, among other crafts. I am also the royal patron of Prison Craft for their rehabilitation center. I have 39 prisons under me, and I must commend that the government really helped us in our efforts through rehab to give the inmates a better future, the journey from prison to freedom, to be accepted into society, part of the social inclusion and sustainability program, empowering them to have a better life upon release. And that is where the prison comes in, and I don't know how I got in there to be their patron. Yeah. As I mentioned just now, when Tenun Pahang was dying with only 15 weavers in 2015, it was the prison department that helped me revive this ancient art. For Bonduli Tuanku, Your Majesty, I would like everybody in this room to know Tenun Pahang has been in existence for the last 1,000 years in Pekan. 1,000 years. Not 300 years or nothing. It has been in Pekan for the last 1,000 years. And I'm very proud of this achievement that the prison has helped me. Through the programs in the prison, the inmates are given hope for a better future. And through them, I see the hope of continuing a legacy for the future generations. And since we are still in the prison, I would like to share with you all, we are now in the midst of building the Perkampungan Al-Sultan Abdullah, or the Al-Sultan Abdullah village in Penor, in Pekan, which is right next to the prison. The Pahang government has given us 20 acres, and we are now in the midst of planning and everything. What Al-Sultan Abdullah village will be is all about, upon release, the inmates that have learned the skills in prison, we offer them housing, we offer them workshop, we help them to sell their products. We want them to bring them back into society, to recognize the skills that they have learned in prison. They may have done mistakes in their life, but we, society, shouldn't shun them. We should accept them back into society. The skills that they have learned is something that we all should be proud of as well. As I said just now, it is the journey from prison to freedom. And while they live in hope, we must give them hope. And I see, as I repeat again, if today the story is about celebrating textiles, I want to celebrate the hope that we are able to give them. The programs that the inmates have learned in prison will give them a second chance of life outside the prison. And through Al-Sultan Abdullah village, this is where His Majesty and I will play our part to help them, to accept them back into society, to empower them to have a living. I see in them, as I said just now, a hope to continue this beautiful journey of preserving the heritage. And I repeat again, today the most beautiful pieces of tenun of the highest quality are from the prisons of Bentong and Penor. Thank you very much to them. Today we celebrate textiles because it weaves, bridges communities. Today we celebrate textiles because weaving bridges communities across the world. I can see my face there. Bridges communities as we journey across the world. Weavers express love and respect for heritage through the diversity of colors, texture and patterns. It conveys a wealth of histories and tales and revered heirloom through the passage of time. As I said just now, it was 2 decades ago that my journey to preserve and revive our cultural traditions began when I focused on the development and the rebranding of Tenun Pahang to Tenun Pahang Diraja in Pulau Keladi Pekan. It was His Majesty himself who launched that ceremony, because I remember I ended up in hospital with slip discs. So His Majesty had no choice but to perform that for me. Thank you, Tuanku, for always doing certain jobs for me when much needed. Yeah. 2 decades ago, I think everybody in this room must admit, nobody has heard of Tenun Pahang Diraja at all. But we have come a long way now. We have even gone to London, to the London Craft Week, to showcase to the world what we do in prisons, the beautiful pieces that's woven by the inmates. And today Tenun Pahang Diraja is much sought after. There are sales outside, which I believe even before the symposium opened, it's already been sold, every piece there. But don't worry, we have many, many more pieces to do. Having sown the seeds, we nurtured and we provided the right kinds of impetus to preserve and promote the weaving industry through patience and tenacity, and not forgetting encouragement from many quarters, including His Majesty. The most is His Majesty, who supported the effort. We have gone many considered strides, transforming it from a long-forgotten art to what it is now today, a revived and dynamic industry. I remembered while I was making babies, during the baby making years, His Majesty would always ask me, I think you better do something about Tenun Pahang. But my concentration there I was totally focused on baby making. Baby making took all of my life. Then after I had my little girl, Jihan, that was it. I dropped everything and I concentrated on my weaving, on my batik, on the state. But before that, it was all about baby making. And His Majesty was the one who said, do something about Tenun Pahang. And when I was going to launch my cookbook, I remember going to Pulau Keladi to choose the fabrics that we would wear on the night. Even Yasmin, you remember, you wore Tenun Pahang, you were the MC when we launched the cookbook in 2005. But the moment I sat down in Pulau Keladi, looking at all the threads, looking at all the fabrics and all the designs that they had, I fell in love. I truly fell in love with Tenun, and I knew there was no turning back. This was my journey in life. And I continue to undertake study tours. Yeah, we in Tenun Pahang Diraja and Tenun Pahang Diraja, we are very serious about the continuity, about reviving, about preserving. It's only to celebrate these achievements. Yeah, so we do study tours, which I call the Tower of Tenun. Every year, I would bring some wardens, some weavers from all parts of the industry in Pekan. I would take two. And, and financially supported by His Majesty. I would travel to India, to Laos, to Cambodia, to Vietnam, to Thailand, to Indonesia, to Brunei, bringing all these people. It's about it's not about going on holiday, it's a learning holiday. And they go and to see every weaving place or whatever arts and craft, we see, we look, we learn, and we copy. Yeah. So we come back to Pahang and we incorporate it into if I see that there's a nice design in Bali that I like, I would go back to Pahang and I say, the color was nice, the design was nice, we could do it. If I go to Thailand, to Chiang Mai, and I visit the Lamphun weaving place, and I like the way they weave, I would come back and tell them, copy. If I go to Laos and I would come back and copy. This is all about art. We look, we learn, we appreciate, we come back and we put it in, we incorporate it into Tenun Pahang Raja. And if you go to the next room later, there are 6 dresses that I wore for His Majesty's installation ceremony. Every single design is there. I would say is ASEAN all in one. All the different techniques that they learned from Chiang Mai, from Bali, to Laos, to Cambodia, the prison, it was all woven by the prisoners. They incorporated all into the 6 dresses that I wore for the installation ceremony. So this is where I would like to recommend to everybody, since we have all the ASEAN here, it's okay to copy if it's for beauty, right? It's okay to copy. You cannot be angry with me, right? Okay. I know we are not regional, like in some places in Indonesia, this region only specializes in that. That's their design, that's their color, and we can't do it. But in Malaysia boleh, we just copy. And make it our own. So when we travel, for myself, all the current practices of these countries in preserving their age-old traditions, especially weaving, and to share them when I get back home. Most recently, we participated in the London Craft Week to showcase to the world the Tenun Pahang Diraja, where the prison department staff were also part of the entourage. I even brought an ex-inmate to weave in London, to show to the world that I accept them back into society. It was also a part of it was also to study how the international arts and craft artisans undertake preservation and promotion of their respective trades. The wardens came, the prisoners came, all the officers came, and everybody came. And I would like to share with you today that when we were there, the prison department of the United Kingdom was very much impressed with what the prisons of Malaysia are doing through their My Pride program, through their rehabilitation program. And they even asked me, can we come to Malaysia? We would like to learn what you are doing in Malaysia prison. And I thought we were there to learn from them. But rather, they want to come back to Malaysia to learn from us. So, and I hope with this next year, we will still participate in the London Craft Week next year. And this time, I will bring the Orang Asli art, our mat tika weaving, our songket, and also our batik. We have done with the Nompahan Raja, and now it's for me to bring the other crafts to be showcased at the London Craft Week in London. This is a story of our journey, of my hope that I'll be able to bring Malaysian craft to world standard. But the most important thing that I would like to share today is about the role of the palace in not just the revival, but also in preserving our heritage. Wherever monarchy existed, you have to admit, we see that the country's rich heritage remained. We cannot deny the role the consorts have played in preserving the tradition and heritage, while the king, the ruler, was busy ruling the states or conquering other states in their region, widening their borders. It was the consorts that stayed at home, that revived they didn't think they were reviving that. For them, it was an everyday thing, to be seen, to do songket, to do tekat, to do klingkam, to do every form of arts and craft. It all comes from the palace. What we have today in Malaysia came from the palace. If at one time it was not accessible for the public, now because the role that the consorts have played, the palace has played, indirectly, the arts and craft has preserved through generations. This is what they have left us with today, and we are here today again to make sure that it stays. As I dive into our natural heritage, I uncover the major roles these consorts have played. Today, as consorts, we have a role to play too. It is our role to continue the legacy left by our forefathers. I am sure they too hope that we will continue and not let it die. And today I would like to recognize and acknowledge the roles that have been played by prominent members of the Malaysian royal households towards preserving the heritage. In Selangor, we had the late Tengku Ampuan Jemaah, who was very clever with the telepok. She would do the telepok on all her official garment to attend function. She championed the art of telepok. And today I would like to look at Selangor, that if Selangor do not revive this telepok, Pahang would steal it. So that is a challenge to Selangor. So that was the role Tengku Ampuan Jemaah played. Telepok, we must admit, Haiza is here today. For the last 30 years, it has sort of died. But Haiza is, doing workshops together with Yayasan Nompahan Raja. We do workshops every year. We want people to know telepok, there's such a thing called telepok, which is most beautiful. So when I went to the London Craft Week, I brought the selendang as gifts, and I made him do the telepok on the selendang to give the selendang, the tenun Pahang selendang, an extra rich touch there. So I'm now warning Selangor again. If Selangor do not do anything to it, it will become a Pahang project. Okay. And then we have the Raja Perempuan Kalsum of Perak, who was famous for tekat. She knew how to do tekat. And because of her, tekat has remained in Perak. All the Raja Perempuans in Perak. This is where tekat is there. But I would also like to ask Perak, maybe you should go to Turkey now, because if you compare the tekat in Turkey and the tekat in Perak, there is so much more we can do. As I said, you travel, you learn, copy. Look, learn, copy. All right, that's it. And then we have also my great-grand-aunt, Tengku Ampuan Besar Mariam of Pahang, who journeyed from Johor to Pahang. And she brought with her, when she arrived in Pahang, she revived the Tenun Pahang Diraja as well. This is why the center was named after her. If not that, it was the baju kurung, even the food that what we have today in Pahang also. Maybe some came from Johor as well. Ampun tuanku, beribu-ribu ampun, jangan murka kat batik. Yeah, so that is where every consort has played. Then we have Tengku Ampuan Mariam of Terengganu, who was the daughter of Sultan Ahmad of Pahang. She took the gamelan to Terengganu. And we in Pahang, we took it back in 1972. His Majesty's grandfather, Sultan Abu Bakar, bought it from her and took back the gamelan set that came from Riau. The gamelan set, which is over 300 years old, we took it back. It's in Pekan in the museum, and you can come on Friday night. Sometimes it plays on its own. So there's something about it as well. So Tengku Ampuan Mariam not only took it on her, she took the gamelan to Terengganu. The first dance that you see just now, I call it Temang Tiung. What is the name just now? The name of the dance? Timang what? Timang Burung. The dance that you saw just now, not only did she design the costume, we still wear whatever she designed, is all in our Royal Gamelan book. She even choreographed the dance. She even wrote the music. So this is where royalties play. Arts and craft heritage is all about dance, food, and everything. It's not just about textile. It covers everything, which is part of our heritage. So Tengku Ampuan Besar Mariam played a major, Tengku Ampuan Mariam of Terengganu, who was married to Sultan Sulaiman of Terengganu, played that major role, and that is why gamelan is still today. And her granddaughter is here today. Here we have Raja Pamuda of Perak, who is the granddaughter of Tengku Ampuan Mariam. And I hope you are able to play that gamelan and dance with it. Okay. Then I'm also told that we have Raja Perempuan Zainab of Kelantan, who used to do klingkam herself, or all her scarf. So this is where she comes in as well. And Sultanah Nur Zahirah of Terengganu has taken upon her to establish the Yayasan Tuanku Nur Zahirah. Yes. So every major consort plays a role. But last but not least, I must say that my dearest friend, my dearest auntie, she calls me auntie, I'm supposed to call her niece. We have Raja Perempuan Anis here, who not only weaves, who not only embroideries, she draws, she cooks, she does gardening, everything. She is the finest example of what a consort should be, and she is here with me today. Yeah. So this journey from one state to the other, you bring your craft here, you bring your craft there among the consorts, is why nation craft has remained today, is thanks to them, kudos to them. And we have also heard today, I heard the Permaisuri of Johor, she was supposed to be here. She also has now set up the Tenun Benang Johor, because Johor likes to fight with me. They claim that they did Tenun, but I say, no, it's me, it's me, it's me. So there's a battle between my brother and me here. Battle of the Royals. All right, yeah. And now I believe now they're doing batik in the Johor colors with the Johor Gambe ladder design. So all that is, you promote. To be seen championing a cause, you have to be seen wearing it as well. Not forgetting, finally, here you have a foreigner who became Rani Brooks of Sarawak. She's a foreigner from England. She goes to Sarawak, and that's it. She wears the native Sarawak songket. She wore the klingkam to be with the people. So that was what she did. And on my part here, as I said, I make myself the royal patron. It's not because I want to be up there, but because it's in me, this artistic nature. I love, it's my passion as well. And I go down to the people, I go down. Trust me, I drive everybody nuts in Pahang by going around, by learning every single thing. And I chase them, and His Majesty knows when the wife suddenly disappears, where are you going? Afternoon. Where are you going? Meeting. That's where we all have to play a role. So I have every confidence that the role of the palace in preserving our country's rich heritage will be continued by the younger royals as well. We have today Tengku Nadira, the daughter of the Sultan of Terengganu, who has graduated in arts, majoring in textiles art. And today I also have my daughter. I also have my daughter, Jihan, who has just started her first year in the Chelsea School of Arts. And she's going to major in textiles art as well. So I see in them this continuity I see is going to go through them. And I hope they will make us proud by taking care of our heritage. I have a vision, which should be everybody's vision as well, to leave our precious traditional craft as a legacy for the future generation. And that is my hope. As custodian of culture, I take it upon myself to perpetually stress the importance to preserve, revive, to remind, and to leave a legacy which is not only about textiles, but the culture and heritage in entirety. Today at the symposium, I would like to announce today, with His Majesty's blessing, I would like to announce today the establishment of the Royal Malaysian Society of Artisans. An association to recognize a handful of skilled artisans that are still alive today, to take care of them. For them to pass down onto us the skills, their expertise. They are the cream of our society. They should be given recognition. And I hope through the Royal Nation Society of Artisans, we in Malaysia, the Malaysian government should help them with fellowships to be awarded to these deserving artisans. These craftsmen, this handful of skilled craftsmen will not be around too long as well. And it has to be kept, it has to be nurtured to the future generation. That is why it's very, very important for us to recognize them. And I hope I will have everybody's support to establish this new Royal Nation Society of Artisans. And that is my journey. Today, we talk about a journey in celebrating textiles. For me, it is my journey from the palace to the people. But to celebrate textiles, I will say to everybody today, I can only celebrate this journey when I am assured that it will be continued for generations to come. Your Majesty, my beloved husband, the king of my heart, I have to butter him up. Yeah. I believe that what we have managed today so far, and inshallah in the future, is with your blessing, your support, your constant encouragement, your belief in me, your trust in me. Thank you, Bodili Tuanku. The success of which is only made possible with the grace of Allah and your Majesty's enduring support, emotionally and financially. Yes, Tuanku has been very kind there. Encouragement, and most of all, your sincere belief in the cause, care and concern is all that I stand for and champion. If not for His Majesty, I would have done nothing for Tenun. It was him pushing me from here, go and do Tenun, go and do Tenun, go and do Tenun. And thank you, Your Majesty, for introducing me to Tenun Pahang Diraja. And this is where my life is all now about Tenun Pahang Diraja. And I feel most humbled to be able to stand here today in your gracious and esteemed presence to deliver this keynote address on one of my many passions. Tuanku shares my passion, as I said just now. He forced me into Tenun, and at the same time has the confidence in me to preserve and promote it. Whatever I do it with love and passion. It is also a journey of hope for which I hope to celebrate one day, if not leave it to the others to celebrate my legacy. With Surah Ar-Rahman, so which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Everything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything, every form of art, every beauty there is in the world comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should always bersyukur, thank Him for whatever we have today. The beautiful thing that we have today all came from Allah. Whatever ideas all came from Allah. So kepada Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala saya berterima kasih kerana memberi saya inspirasi, mendorong saya, memberi saya petunjuk, memberi saya, membuka hati saya, tenangkan jiwa saya, walaupun berapa hari saya tidak tidur kerana saya takut untuk berucap di depan ke bawah duli Tuanku. Yeah? So petunjuk Allah yang saya perlukan and the support from His Majesty is all that I yearn for. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.